Hi guys, welcome to the video. If you are looking for the best wide-angle lenses for Sony A7 III, then you are in the right place. I will give you top 5 best wide-angle lenses for Sony A7 III with detailed buying guidance and insights about these lenses. So don't forget to watch this video till the end. Photographers and videographers can capture unique views with the best wide-angle lenses. As opposed to a regular lens, the best wide-angle lenses provide a field of view far wider than that of the human eye, allowing broad sights and eye-catching views to fit into a single scene, opening up a wide range of possibilities. Ultra-wide lenses are mostly used by photographers who are capturing landscape and design shots. Landscape photographers will sometimes try to fit as much of a spectacular view into a frame as possible, while architecture photographers will often try to fit a lot of construction into a frame from small angles. These can be useful in both indoors as well as outdoors. Let's narrow down the wide-angle lenses available for Sony's fantastic A7 III mirrorless cameras to a definitive first option becomes increasingly difficult as the variety of wide-angle lenses available for Sony's fantastic A7 III mirrorless cameras. The best wide-angle lens for the Sony A7 III, in fact, is simply the right wide-angle lens for your photography. So, the lens you can buy will be largely determined by your own technical requirements and shooting style. Links are given in the description if you want to buy from my link. Go and buy your favorite one. Alright. Cool, so let's check out the top 6 lens picks one by one. Sony's FE 12-24mm f/4G lens. Sony's FE 12-24mm f/4G lens is an excellent ultra-wide-angle zoom, covering viewing angle from very wide to insanely wide. It will appeal to photographers of all types, from landscape and interiors to live thrilling and adventure photography. When purchasing this type of lens, bokeh is never going to be a major consideration. Indeed, getting the background out of focus at all with an ultra-wide angle will be difficult too. The process is further complicated by the relatively slow maximum aperture of f/4. However, if you can achieve some divergence between foreground and background, you can safely bet that out-of-focus rendering will look great. The 12-24mm is the widest lens currently available for the Sony A7iii, and it's very sharp from f/5.6 onwards. When shooting at its widest aperture, however, you should expect to see both visible corner softness and color fringing. Autofocus feature is amazingly stunning, similar to the majority of Sony's lenses, as the manual focus action is still satisfying and accurate. The 12-24mm is a wider and less expensive alternative to the pricey 16-35mm GM for those looking for an ultra-wide-angle lens for the A7 III. The 12-24mm, of course, lacks the G-Faster Masters aperture and pro-level specifications. Sony FE 24mm f/1.4 GM. The 24mm f/1.4, like all other lenses in the G-Master series, isn't cheap. It is, however, much more reasonably priced than you might expect for a lens of this caliber. Many people were skeptical when the 24mm GM was first released, believing that a 24mm at this price point, and with such key factors, could possibly deliver the pro-level image quality Sony promised. The 24mm GM, in fact, produces stunningly sharp images that maintain optical standards throughout the frame and across the aperture range. Furthermore, there is very little chromatic aberration, so when combined with the lens's super-fast maximum aperture, it's clear that this is one of the best astrophotography lenses currently available in the market. And those who shoot landscapes views, interior shooting, action live sports, and street photography will love the 24mm GM's wide angle of view and outstanding optics. In comparison to most other lenses of this wide angle, it is also quite thin and compact. This is a superb wide-angle lens with excellent resolution and image quality, fabulous bokeh, and low-light performance is amazing. This model is a high-performance compact lens at reasonable pricing. You should definitely, if you can afford. This will really be worth it. You can get this from Amazon offer. Sony 16-35mm f/2.8 GM. Even at a shorter angle of view, the 16-35mm f/2.8 is significantly more expensive than the FE 12-24mm f/4. As 12-24mm is a pretty wide range, and most photographers will only use it occasionally. The 16 to 35mm f2.8 GM is a highly appealing alternative to both the 12 to 24mm and Sony's Tessar T*16 to 35mm f4 for those in need of a lens wide enough to cover most landscape and interior shots while also being fast enough to be useful in low-light situations. The 16 to 35mm's advantages go beyond low-light performance. In contrast to a faster maximum aperture, you get better optics and a more durable build, as well as the ability to use filters which the 12 to 24mm lacks. Because there are 11 aperture blades, the bokeh is far superior. While bokeh isn't the most important factor to consider when choosing a wide-angle lens, the faster maximum aperture ensures that a degree of background blur is possible. However, because your Sony A7 III comes with built-in stabilization, simply there's very little reason not to go with the 16.35mm GM if you can push to the asking price. Zeiss Batis 18mm f2.8. The primary attraction of the Zeiss 18mm is the incredible image quality and insight it can produce. Even when using the lens at its widest aperture setting, photos taken with this lens are incredibly sharp. The Batis 18mm f2.8 is not only an excellent choice for landscape photography, but it is also an excellent choice for night sky photography, where the trait of a fast maximum aperture, excellent image quality, and a wide angle of view makes it stand out from the competition. This type of ultra-wide angle lens will never be the choice for achieving a shallow depth of field. When shooting up close and wide open, however, some separation can be achieved. The Batis bokeh isn't anything to get excited about in the first place. Because the vast majority of images you'll take with this lens will be sharply focused from foreground to infinity, so you won't experience any bokeh. Some photographers will consent to the lens's relatively fast maximum aperture of f2.8. The additional optics required to achieve this results in a lens that is notably large. Thankfully, Zeiss has managed to keep his weight under control. As a result, few people will find wearing this around their neck all day to be too much of a hassle. The lens has a very simple design, with a barrel that is almost devoid of features. The LCD focusing scale for use with its focus-by-wire, manual focus ring is the only notable exception. Meanwhile, autofocus is so fast and accurate that few people will be tempted to use manual control in the first place. Your A7 III, on the other hand, has built-in image stabilization. And with such a short focal length, stabilization isn't really possible. The addition of weather sealing is a huge plus. Tamron 17 to 28mm f2.8 D3. Tamron 17 to 28mm f2.8 wide-angle zoom offers great functionality and beautiful optical performance at a highly competitive price. Indeed, those drooling over the Sony 16 to 35 f2.8 GM, above, but feeling decidedly queasy at the prospect of stumping up all that cash, should give Tamron's. Objectively, the G Master might be the better lens, but certainly not over 2 times better. Offering very serious consideration. Let's be totally clear, the GM is an almost flawless bit of optical engineering. Indeed, optical performance is fantastic, producing images that are sharp edge to edge, even when shooting wide open. It's also lighter and more compact than the GM, and yet offers the same relatively fast constant maximum aperture of f2.8. What's more, the Tamron is sturdily built and fully weather sealed, although precisely how it measures up to the GM on this front is not something we can realistically afford to test. When it comes down to it then, the only major difference between the Tamron and the G Master is that the latter offers a wider zoom range. For some photographers that will be the deal breaker. For others, who may already own, say, the 28 to 70mm kit lens and can live without the extra 1mm of reach at the wider end of the scale, this will be of no concern whatsoever. True, you don't get image stabilization with this lens. But as this is a guide to wide-angle lenses for the Sony A7 III, it seems safe to assume that you are already well covered for stabilization. Seen in this light, Tamron's offering is a very serious contender for the title of Best Wide-Angle Lens for the A7 III, at any price point. At the very least, anyone considering the GM should think twice before putting down their money. Sony FE 28mm f2. Arguably 28mm is a much more convenient focal length for daily use than more extreme wide angles. Great for landscapes, particularly well suited to weddings, events, documentary, and street photography, and passable for astrophotography. The Sony FE 28mm f2 is simply a very dependable and hard-working prime lens that all Sony A7 III users should consider keeping in their bag. The FE 28mm displays excellent center sharpness at f2, but with some loss of clarity at the edges. Despite the wide angle of view, nice enough bokeh can be achieved when shooting up close, even if this tends to be a little on the busy side. Manual focusing is smooth and well dampened. Although, as is customary with Sony's lenses, it uses the focus-by-wire system, meaning that it will never offer quite the same degree of manual control as a lens that focuses by truly mechanical means. Links are given in the description of this video, and if you want to buy these lenses from my link, I will get small commission, so create more product videos for you guys. Things to consider. The right wide-angle lens for your A7iii? Number 1 is maximum aperture. Then bokeh on a wide-angle lens? Then sharpness. Focal length. Image stabilization. Sony's A7 III offers pro-level features and stunning image quality for not much more than the cost of a consumer camera. Where the A7 III can become more costly, however, is in purchasing suitable lenses. And the fact is that high-quality wide angles are never the cheapest subcategory of any lens range. And for a little more investment, Sony's range of pro-level G-Master lenses brings top-quality, fast aperture, wide-angle zooms into reach. This is up to you which one is right for you. I hope you like this video. Thanks for watching. See you, bye-bye.